We are live. Hey, how's it going? Lee Hayward here with the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Q&A, going live at 5 at Fridays. And today I'm not at my home office, as you can tell. I'm visiting my mother-in-law, so hence the different background here. We're out visiting family for the weekend, but you know what? I'm still making a go of it. Still going to have our live at 5 video Q&A. So the way this works is I'm going to be hanging out here for the next hour, answering questions and topics of discussion that you have related to fitness and nutrition, health and wellness, and any specific topics of discussion that you would like to discuss. Feel free to type those into our chat window, and I'll do the best I can to help you out over the course of our video chat today. All right, and I just want to give you a heads up. Right now, we are in the middle of a winter storm and very high winds, and the power has flicked a few times. So this video chat could go at any minute. Fingers crossed, we're going to keep the power and keep this thing live and running. But if by chance this video chat just spontaneously goes dark, that's why, because we've had the power flick 3 times this evening so far. So fingers crossed, now we can keep this going. All right, so I see some people popping on to our live stream. Again, welcome to our live Q&A here live at 5 on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel, and we're also streaming through the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page as well. Awesome. So if you have any questions or topics of discussion or anything that you would like me to cover related to health and wellness, fitness and nutrition, any specific challenges you may be dealing with regards to building muscle, losing fat, feel free to type those questions and topics of discussion into our chat window. All right, let's see. It's coming through. And again, I see some people saying that it is coming through loud and clear. I do appreciate that. Awesome. We've got AJ joining in. Hey. All right. I don't know if I'm back online. Test, test. The power just flicked and everything went dark there for a moment. Is this coming through? For anybody who's tuning in live right now, who's still here after that long hiatus, let's see. All right. You're back. I'm back. Okay. Okay, I know someone was saying try another spot. I can't. The whole electricity, the house went dark. Like everything, we lost the electricity. So it's not the Wi-Fi signal. It's when the electricity goes, everything shuts down. So I am back. All right, we'll give this chat a go and see if it works. And thankfully, I didn't lose any of the or yes, I did. No, or did I? No. Okay, I think everything's there. All the Q&A that were posted already were there. All right, so for those of you who are just joining us, this is a bit of a different video chat here today because I'm not at home. I'm out visiting Grandma's house here, out visiting my mother-in-law, so hence the different background. But nonetheless, we're going to have our Live at 5 video Q&A. And again, I don't want to jinx this, but fingers crossed, I'm going to keep the power because right now we're in the middle of a winter storm and there's very high winds. And the power has been surging. So like we lost it. I think that was the third or fourth time within the last couple hours where the power went, but it came back on like a couple minutes later. So hopefully we get a video chat out of this. All right, let's jump in and start answering some Q&A. Let's see. We've got Brian's joining in saying coming through loud and clear. Well, it is now. Told you your dedication every Friday is loyal, much appreciated. Well, glad. Thank you, Brian. I do appreciate that, the comments and feedback. Glad that it is appreciated. Who else? We've got greetings from Ecuador. Welcome. Glad to have you joining in as well. We've got an international audience. And we have Jason from Jenks, Oklahoma. Welcome. Glad to have you joining in. Awesome. Lee Dunnigan joining in. Loud and clear. For the moment, it's loud and clear. Hopefully it can stay that way. All right, let's see if we got some Q&A coming through here. All right, Emma's joining in as well. Says, haven't been able to manage to get on for the last few weeks. Good to see you. Glad to have you joining in. Much appreciated. All right, so we have a question here from Adil. Adil's been a regular of our video chats recently and participating. Saying, do you think people can choose to love fitness or are they predisposed to loving certain types of fitness? For example, I loved weightlifting since day one. All right. Do you think people can choose to love fitness or are they predisposed to loving certain types of fitness? Yes, I honestly think that is a thing. And a lot of it is going to be genetics. Like, what are you best genetically suited for? If you are a bigger guy, maybe you will enjoy weightlifting, powerlifting, strength sports, that kind of thing. If you're more of a leaner, slender guy, you're probably going to enjoy sports that favor that type of body type. For example, like if you look at the top level endurance athletes, they generally all have an ectomorph body type, which is kind of like the long, slender body type. When you look at people who are top level bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongman, they usually have the mesomorph or sometimes even the endomorph body type, which means they're heavier, stockier, just a naturally bigger person, right? And I think the genetics are going to favor that a lot and what you're naturally good at. Because if you're a bigger guy, you're going to have more natural strength than someone who's smaller, and you'll probably favor that more or excel at that more, right? Now, with that being said, you can still enjoy other types of sports, but you're probably not going to excel at it to the highest level. For example, like if someone is an ectomorph, like they're naturally a thin, lean, slender person, that's just their genetic makeup. The odds of them becoming, a heavyweight Olympia caliber bodybuilder is slim to none. Vice versa, someone who has the genetics to be an Olympia heavyweight caliber bodybuilder, the odds of them becoming a world-class endurance athlete, like winning an Ironman or winning a Tour de France or something like that, is slim to none. So I think the body type plays a big role. The genetics, right? That's ultimately what's going to determine, what you're best suited towards. But then it's also your personal drive and passion. And I can appreciate this because I started off competing in bodybuilding. Like when I was 17 years old, started competing in bodybuilding and did that throughout my teens, the later teens, 20s, and into my early 30s. But in recent years, I've switched to endurance sports. So I compete in our local cycling races. Now, again, this is grassroots, local level. I mean, I have no dreams of trying to take it to any, to national level or anything like that. I mean, I don't have the genetics for it and I don't have the potential for that, but I can still enjoy competing on the local grassroots level and having a lot of fun with it. And, again, I'm not genetically suited to be a great cyclist and I'm not genetically suited to be a great bodybuilder. I'm kind of like a in the middle, if you will, but I enjoy participating in both sports. And, that's a love of fitness that I have. I enjoy both of them. And I certainly think people can choose to love it. And your environment, the people you're around, and what you just take a liking to can really have a big impact on that. So, yeah, I certainly believe that's true. And your environment's going to have a big impact. Like if you grew up in a household where people were active or friends, your colleagues, your schoolmates, stuff like that, if they were into a certain sport or activity, chances are you might have a tendency to want to participate in that sport or activity as well. So I think genetics and environment play a big role here for sure. Uh, how up and down does your weight fluctuate during the year, and how frequently do you take body part and body fat measurements? As far as my weight fluctuation, it's very minimal these days. My weight stays in that between 190 to 200 pounds pretty much year round. That's actually where it's stayed now for the last 7 years, in the 190s. Like it hasn't really gone All right, back again, I think. I kind of got a feeling that this is not going to be a very productive show. Power just went again, and every time the power flicks, it reboots the router, and I got to wait for the whole router to reboot and everything else. So even though the lights only flick for maybe 30 seconds, it takes several minutes for the internet router to reboot and get back online again. So this is going to be a bit of a shit show, for lack of a better word. Anyway, we were asking, I had a question come through there. I'm just going to try and pick this up. If it goes again, which it probably will, because that's probably like the fourth time within the last 2 hours that the power's flicked. Right? Well, as I mentioned, we're in the middle of a winter storm here now. So high winds, and it's not the best. All right. Not the best signal here. All right. Where was I? I lost my place in the video chat there. I'm just going to pick up where we left off, or try my best to pick up where we left off. Let's see. Here's another question. I might have misplaced here on the chat, but I'm just going to pick up and keep going because we have Mark joining in. It says, how is your training going? Quick question. I'm a male, 5'10", 188.5 pounds, 12% body fat, goal of 195 pounds at or below 10% body fat. How should I go? How high should I go on calories or protein, carbs, and fat to be able to build? All right. I understand where you're coming from and having those goals. But the main thing that I would focus on if I was in your situation is just striving to be better than you are right now. Because honestly, to go to 195 plus and actually lose body fat, that's a big goal, right? Because you have to gain a lot more than just, 7 pounds of mass in order to compensate for not only the weight gain, but the drop in body fat as well. So like, honestly, you would probably have to get your body weight upwards of around, 210 pounds plus, and then diet back down to 195, in order to achieve that goal, just to put it in perspective. So, I mean, that's where I would be pushing this to, if that is your long-term goal. Like, I would actually overshoot your target weight and then diet back down to it. But at the same time, you don't want to go and do the quote unquote dirty bulk, if you will, to just try and get up to that, to gain weight as quick as possible. You want to do so in a slow and sustainable fashion and focus on quality gains. But even if you're focusing on quality gains, like eating clean, natural, unprocessed food, and you're still training regularly, doing cardio regularly, and making lean gains, like even if you just say stayed at 12% body fat, but you gained, 10 pounds, well, not all of that 10 pounds is going to be lean mass, right? Some of it's going to come from water, fat, glycogen, right? I mean, and of course, lean muscle tissue as well. So what I would recommend is to shoot for 210 or more, and then diet your way back down to 195 so that you could hit the body fat goal. That's what I would shoot for. And again, this is something that you're looking at like a year-long training process, at least, to do that, to do so healthy and sustainably, right? So that's what I would focus on in your situation. As far as the calories, protein, carbs, and fat, focus on being better than you are right now. So if you're not already tracking, get out, a MyFitnessPal or just pen and paper, however you want to do it, but start tracking your food and seeing exactly what it is you're consuming right now, and then focus on bettering that. Just to kind of give you some ballpark numbers, a minimum of 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight per day. So if we're shooting for, say, 210 pounds of ideal body weight, I would get in a minimum of 210 grams of protein per day. That would be a benchmark. The carbohydrates and the fat calories, that's going to depend on your activity level. But again, you want to be in a surplus in order to grow from. So I wouldn't be on like a low carb diet or anything like that, or trying to restrict. I would actually probably have those carbs higher, 300 plus grams of carbs a day minimum, and fat probably around 100 grams of fat per day. That's kind of like a ballpark area where you could strive for, and then you could adjust it based on how your body's responding. And this is where real coaching takes place, is in adjusting based on how your body responds. Because like if you went out and, like, let's say you wanted to get a coach, like hire a trainer, a nutritionist, or whatever, all they're going to be able to give you is an educated guess on what they think is going to work based on their experience. That's it. That's all anybody can give you. You could hire the best of the best. They're just going to give you an educated guess on what they think is going to work. But until you actually start following it and putting that into practice and then seeing how your body responds in real time, you won't know. And where the actual coaching takes place is in modifying things based on how your body responds. So those ongoing check-ins and monitoring your results and seeing, okay, this is what I'm doing. These are the results I'm getting. Am I happy with these results? If so, great, let's keep going. And if you're not happy with those results, then go back to the drawing board and make adjustments. Adjustments, whether it's with the nutrition, with the training, with the rest and the recovery and the lifestyle variables. But it's always a process of monitoring and adjusting in real time. And even if you find something that works well now, eventually that's going to run its course. You're going to hit a plateau. Like every program, every approach you follow goes through the phase of, you get a solid plan in place. Your body's going to adapt.